discriminant, the key thing we are looking at is the b squared minus 4ac. So we are always trying to look at that, and it's going to tell us if we have one no or one solution, two solutions, or no solution. So this key thing called our discriminant. So if the b squared minus 4ac, if that is greater than 0, meaning when you find underneath here and it says you're finding the plus and minus square root of 49, the b squared minus 4ac comes out to be square root of 49. You will have two solutions, because when you look at that solution, you will have plus, positive, or negative 7. And it wouldn't even have to be a perfect square, but it's any time b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, you are going to have two solutions, and those two solutions are going to be just your roots that we are looking at. And it's not even telling us which way our parabola is going or anything like that. It just tells us that we have two real number solutions. Okay? If b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, that's when you get something like the square root plus or minus the square root of 0, which just means that you had this number out in front and you're adding nothing to it. You are only going to have one solution. Now that one solution might be, in this case, at 3. It might be anywhere along the x-axis. And all that's telling us that b squared minus 4ac equals 0 is that your root or solution, the vertex, is right on the x-axis. We saw some when we did those cards that we had some that had no solution. And if you plug in b squared minus 4ac and say it happens to come out to be a negative 49, and you have plus or minus negative 49, there is never going to be a solution, a real number solution, that will make this true. Imaginary one, you'll get into that when you get into algebra 2. Okay? So that's the key thing. So today we're going to kind of continue with where we left off yesterday. So if you take a look on the top of the next page, it says how many real number solutions. So we're going to kind of be looking at that, top of the next page. So the number of real number solutions, the first thing we're going to do, we want to make sure it's written equal to 0, standard form. So 2x squared minus 3x, we had to add 5 to both sides to start solving this one. Once we have added 5 to both sides, we now want to identify b squared minus 4ac. So again, for some of you, I saw in your papers that you wrote down right behind a is 2, b equals negative 3, c equals 5. You are only looking at the b squared minus 4ac, what's underneath the root. Using your parentheses, so negative 3 squared is going to be negative 9, and putting this whole thing in your calculator. So negative 3 squared, which is 9, minus 4 times 2 times 5 gives us a negative 31. Because it's negative, right away we don't have to try and finish the quadratic formula. We know that there is no real number solutions. So it says, can you solve this problem any other way? If you are looking at it, if you are looking at the solutions, you could possibly, as you're looking at this, solve it maybe by factoring, but any way you solve this one, you are going to find that there are no solution for this problem as you look at that. So, making sure you got it. That next one down. First thing we need to do is rewrite the problem. So in standard form, Sanjay, I'm going to be looking at what? Equals 0. So Soren, I want to identify my A, B, and C. Okay. So just practice our quadratic formula. Let's say it. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Now, the only thing we really want to look at is just our discriminant, because it says how many solutions. So we're only looking at the b squared minus 4ac, only that part of it. So we are going to put in, parentheses are really important, negative 5 squared, it's not negative 25, it's positive 25, minus 4 times a is 6, and b is negative 7. So, if we are multiplying this, please put that in your calculator right now. We're going to have 25 plus If you were putting that in, I believe that second part is 168. It is going to be positive. So this is equal to 193. Since it is positive, since b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, we are going to be able to say 2 real number solutions. Okay, so 2 real solutions. And the question down here says, well, what if A is positive and C is negative? How many real number solutions should we have? So if A is positive and C happens to be negative, does it ever matter if B is positive or negative? No, because when you square it, it becomes positive. So if we are looking at the A and C, what is going to always be the case if A is positive and C is negative? Should we have real number solutions? I have this negative here, negative 4, and if I always take it times C being negative, we're always going to have 2 solutions when you look at that. It's going to always come out positive. If A is positive and C is negative, that 4AC part would be negative, and because it's a minus 4AC, that makes it positive. So everything underneath that square root is going to be positive, because you are specifically looking at minusing a negative number, and minusing a negative is always going to be positive. Okay?